I'm pregnant and I need to get this fight with my mill off my chest. I'm 13 weeks. We decided it was time to tell my mill. My dad has known for 2 weeks. Nobody else has been told. When we told my mill, she burst into tears. I was shocked. I thought, my god, she's happy. I can't believe she's this happy. I was wrong. She looked at me and said, how could you do this to my son? You did this on purpose. She then turned to my husband and said, it's not too late. There are things we can do. My husband looked so sad. Even while I'm writing this, he's just sitting in his office talking to his dad, and he sounds so defeated. She went on and on about how I should never be allowed to be a mother, that since I grew up without one I have no idea how it should be done. My dad was a young single dad. My mom was 17 when she got pregnant. My dad was freshly 18. They had been dating for a year and had plans. I ruined those plans. My mom had decided that an abortion was the only way to secure her future. I don't blame her. I might have done the same. But my dad begged just for her to give birth to me. Then she could drop me with him and cut ties forever. She agreed. I grew up in my grandfather's home. My grandma died a few years before I was born. I had 2 uncles who lived there as well. When I turned 5, me and my dad moved out on our own. I never had a mother figure, and my mother-in-law points it out as the culprit of all my shortcomings. I don't know what to do. Before me, my husband and his mom were extremely close. I even met her before we started dating. I was friends with his cousin long before I became his girlfriend. She liked me then. I can't believe she'd rather have her own grandchild aborted instead of having me be their mother. I don't mean to make this seem that I'm against abortion. I'm truly not. It's just not part of my path. It was never meant to be. I don't know how to help my husband with the sadness this brought him. I don't know how to help myself understand that in the grand scheme of things her opinion doesn't matter. I just needed to get this all off my chest. Thank you for listening. Oh honey, no. You didn't do this. You didn't choose this. You are never to blame. She is a grown woman looking for any excuse to make you not good enough for her precious baby boy, and she latched onto something you could do nothing to fix. Not that it needs fixing. You are exactly who your husband wanted to build a life with, and the fact you are starting a family just proves to her she is losing more and more ground as a primary woman in your husband's life. That's all this is. If she removes the baby, she still has a chance to replace you with someone willing to play second fiddle to her until the day she's gone. Don't blame yourself for her twisted fantasies. Take this for the gift that it is. She wants you and baby to not exist? Well, from now on you don't. Not to her. She doesn't get baby info. She doesn't get invited to your milestone moments or life events. Mill, you made it quite clear you didn't want my wife and child to exist, so now you don't get to share in my life with them. If that means I only see you for short amounts of time, well, that's the natural consequences of your piss poor behavior. Falls under the play bitch games, win bitch prizes protocol. Go on and enjoy your life, mama. You've earned it. One big part of it is that Justness can't respect that their son or daughter are actual adults. There seems to be a great disconnect in how they recognize the transition between the child/teen version of their son/daughter that they control and parent and the much more independent adult version. A partner is often seen as a very symbol of independence because a partner actively encourages their child to build a life and family outside of the FOO, and thus becomes a bit of a threat to try to chase away. They seem to then transfer this role and responsibility onto themselves when you have a baby because you and EH couldn't possibly be adult enough for that stage of your life yet, and that you both will depend on her to be the mother of your baby. If you and EH are more than ready to be parents, it is not on her to make that decision and choice for you. You need to step aside and become the independent adults and parents you need to be, and recognize that you no longer need her approval to do anything for you and your husband's future. I'm picking up that she may be more overly involved in your lives than you realize might be healthy. Try to teach yourselves when the issue is more about Mel and not about you two. Their hidden agendas do not always focus on the truth and reality of the situation, and are more about preserving the fantasy of being the parent and in control of her now very adult son. This issue is about her, not about you. Sometimes the best mothers come out of impossibly difficult situations, and that you only had a loving dad who raised you is not evidence enough that you cannot do this together alongside a loving, supportive husband. You are not going to be alone. I'm 57. I've been begging my mother for a real relationship since I can recall. Certainly once I was old enough to have my own opinions, she's hated me. I married young and had a little boy and a little girl. Their father decided it was too difficult to have a family and was too expensive, leaving him not enough that he wanted for himself. Once Eve moved, it became my parents wanting my children for themselves. I had done nothing wrong. I didn't drink, I didn't use drugs. But quickly they said, we think you are crazy and demand you see a psychiatrist and you have to leave the kids here with us or things will get violent. They had never behaved in such a way ever. Long story short, there were no child support laws then. In 1983 that really helped. I had no money. A decent job as a scrub tech in a hosp, but that didn't support us. My maternal grandparents helped me quite a bit. I floundered. Eventually life straightened out. I remarried, but my parents saw him as the one who made them have to end their BS and resented him. My dad died, and 2 weeks later my husband and our youngest, age 7, died in an accident. Though surely my mother sees that all that must stop. Wrong. She doubled down with weeks. Now it's 22 years later, I have a wonderful husband for 14 of them, and she's throwing a fit right now. Refuses to take my calls. My daughters see through her now and have backed away, but my oldest son hasn't. She's still citing the day when my oldest two were very small, and she and my father said I was crazy as the root to all of my evil ways. SMH. It's not worth the fight. With many women like this, I've seen in my years of nursing. I went back to school years ago and became an RN. These types of women tear down entire families, rarely if ever seek help, but rather see that all others are the problem. I had a brother who was really crazy and used drugs. He eventually died of an overdose. But I am the bad seed and she's never felt any other way. If you can find a way out of this situation, take it and never look back. The mill may eventually want your child to as an extension of her son. But these types will never allow you to be a happy family, and I hate to see you at my age, having had to fight your entire life. Get some counseling and stay in at home. I'm not kidding. Sometimes those negative early experiences like the one your family had with your mother mark us to mistakenly find similar situations as adults. Don't let her have your child. No matter how much it may seem that she looks sorry, she won't be. She will want the child and has an unhealthy relationship with how she sees her son. She will want the child to be its mother. On the off chance I'm wrong, I don't believe I am for a secretary. Get into a counselor as soon as possible to help you navigate this while you're pregnant and after. You'll need your family behind you too. I'm rooting for you. I just want to reiterate that there are some mothers out there like your Mill that basically have mental issues when it comes to letting go of their children, respecting their grown children's wishes, believing their own child can make adult decisions. It definitely has nothing to do with you. My grandmother was like this with my mom and dad, only it was the other way around. She thought my dad was the bad influencer. She liked him at first, then eventually could not stand him simply because he was the main person her baby girl was attached to. She was mad at my dad when my mom got pregnant with me shortly after their wedding. He was taking away my mom's freedom. When my mom got pregnant with my sister, she was sure my dad's plans were to keep my mom barefoot and pregnant. He was basically a caveman, even though my mom is the one who told my dad when they got engaged that she always hoped to have a large family with lots of kids. My grandmother could not wrap her head around the way my parents wanted to do things and mostly blamed my dad for somehow forcing my mom to go along with his plans, despite what my mother tried to tell her. I'm just so sorry that she said such nasty, hateful, hurtful things to you. She really is on another level when it comes to being an awful person. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. See you all later.